In a previous video, I showed you how to use Google Forms to create assessments. In this video, I'd like to show you how to use an add-on called Flubaroo to grade them. Let's go to a form that we've created before, the Intro to Forms. And I'm only going to look at the responses. I took the time to insert a bunch of student admissions. These are artificial students over here. And they've all submitted their responses. And of course, I don't want to take lots and lots of my time to grade these. I want to have an add-on do it for me. Flubaroo is a grading program. If it's not listed here, which it probably won't be for you, you can click Get Add-ons. And in the Get Add-ons, this is where you can add one of many different types of apps. There are apps for many different applications other than just grading. If it's not here, under the search add-ons, you can just type Flubaroo, hit enter, and it of course will find it for you. If you open it up here, instead of seeing manage, you will see something that will let you install it. So click on that, install it, and I'll show you how easy it is to have Flubaroo grade it for you. Once you've installed it, under add-ons, Flubaroo, grade assignment. Now this here is where you choose which questions you want Flubaroo to grade. You don't want their name, or even their hour in graded. You can choose whether or to or not grade one, as well as how many points you want to assign each question. I think this question is not as important as the others, so I will make it worth 1 point. This question here is much more important, so maybe I might give it worth 2 or 3 points. Now, the next thing Flubaroo is going to ask us in step 2 is to choose a key. To create an answer key, you actually have to take the test yourself and put in the correct answers. So let's go back and do that real quick. I'm going to go back to the actual form. I'm going to view a live form, and I'm going to take the quiz quickly myself. I'm going to create a key. I'm just going to name all this key so it's easily identifiable, and go back and insert the correct questions. It takes 1 month for the moon to go around the Earth. None of these are the right answers, so I'll just pick 100,000 miles, and the wavelength of green light is 450 nanometers. When I click submit and I go to responses, here it is. There's our answer key. If we go back to Flubaroo, grade assignment, I still don't want to grade the hour. I'm going to skip that grading. Continue. And now to choose the key, I'm going to scroll down until I see the one I just created, the key. So Flubaroo will now compare all the student answers to my key. And it's going to create a separate tab down here at the bottom under that same student submissions where all the answers were. It will create a separate tab that grades everything. And we can view the grades, and I'll show you how it organizes them. First, over here on the left, you have all the student names, and then a way of tabulating how they did on the test. It tells you how many total questions they got right, it tells you what percent they got, how many times they submitted it, if you had them submit their email address, I'll show you why that's important, and then all the questions. These are all the answers the students submitted. We didn't grade the hour, and any of these fields marked as a 1 tells us that the students got 1 point for that question, or they got it correct. And if it's 0, they got it wrong, they got 0 points. Now I randomly threw answers into this, and because of that you can see my students did very poorly on this test. It shows you the grade for each student, how they did on the test, but it also shows you how your class as a whole did on each question. 45, 9%, 54%. Any question that a student gets below a 70% on will be highlighted in red. Since all my students did less than 70%, they're all highlighted in red. Any question where the class got less than 60% will be highlighted in orange. And once again, all of my students did less than 60%, so they're all highlighted in orange. Another fun thing to do, or useful thing to do, if you come up to the add-ons in Flubaroo, there's a few other things you can do in this. You can view a report, which is just another way to display the data that it gives you. If you have your students submit their email address, Flubaroo will email each student their individual scores. Under Email Grades, you can use this to send students an email with the list of the questions, the answer key if you choose, and a message you can send for them. So that is Flubaroo in a nutshell. There's a couple other small things you can look at, but this should get you started grading.